I would say in very short words that Morocco's approach towards the pandemic crisis that we are going through now is just very strategic. I mean strategic by saying that Morocco is both dealing with this issue in a short term and as well as a long term issue. So for short term, Morocco is dealing with the crisis by, of course, your vaccination strategy. And what I mean by the vaccination strategy is that you have procured enough vaccines for the population, also with the very diversified portfolio. And also Morocco is also dealing with the delivery issue, which is another quite a big issue for many countries. And at the same time, Morocco also understands that procuring vaccines from overseas is not enough. You have to be self-reliant. And therefore, Morocco, I understand that has agreed with some foreign farmers, the Chinese and the Swedish ones, from what I understand, to produce vaccines in Morocco, which is very smart. My country is also working toward that. We are developing our own vaccines. We are also collaborating with some other countries to procure our vaccines. So, that's the way to go. What I mean by the long-term strategy is that you're also dealing with the other global challenges, namely posed by the climate change. So there is a very clear, scientifically proven linkage between climate crisis and the current pandemic crisis that we are going through. And with Morocco's very smart approach in dealing with the climate challenges by increasing your renewable energy production, being more efficient with your energy uses, is actually something that will be quite conducive in dealing with this long-term challenges. So I think in that sense, I can say you're doing quite well. And as a result, Morocco, as I understand, has already vaccinated 63% of your population, which is by far the highest in Africa, but not only in the African continent, but all throughout the world. It's actually much better than some advanced countries. So, you are producing results. What I can say is that, congratulations. The few things that I just said, that you are very capable in dealing with the health crisis. And at the same time, you also showed the maturity of your civil society and maturity of your democracy by successfully concluding your recent election. But at the same time, whether or not that has strengthened your society as a whole by strengthening your unity, I would like to pose that question to the Moroccan people, because in many democracies around the world, there are many conflicts between generations, between gender, among ideologies, and also between the rich and the poor. And the division that I just mentioned between or among these groups are intensifying, not lessening. So Morocco is a democracy, so I'm sure you have all these issues. Whether or not the pandemic and how you dealt with this issue has strengthened your societal unity, I'm not too sure. I just want to ask that question to you. But I also would like to point out what I have observed in a couple of months since I arrived, and that is the existence of your very long cherished royal house, or this royaume is your polity. And I think definitely His Majesty the King and the royal house is definitely the converging point where people look toward their unity. But that's something that I am observing with keen interest. I would like to note three things which impressed me quite a lot. And that is, first is the very high voter turnouts. So I understand the voter turnout now stands at 50.35%, which is the highest in recent times, or any time. And in democracies, the big issue is not too much politics, but just lack of interest. Political apathy is a big issue in many countries, many democracies. But despite the pandemic and economic hardship, the people came out and also, just made their voice heard. The second point is the participation of women. The general perception, rightly or wrongly, is that in the Arab world or the Islamic world, the female participation is lower. I don't know if that's the right perception, but I understand that 96 women were elected. That's 24.3% of the entire lower house, which is quite impressive. I think it's even higher than Korea in the female participation. I mean, the society has to go together. Both genders have to work together to build society and make progress. So in that sense, I was very, very impressed. Third point is the agenda. For Morocco, I think the path that you chose with this very focused or condensed political agenda is, I think, very, very appropriate. So I was impressed by those 3 points.